recent storms, trust the most well-reviewed exterior construction company, Snap Construction, for a free home inspection.
This is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. There are a lot of great construction companies in town. My advice is to take your time and do your research. Make sure they are locally owned and that they guarantee their craftsmanship for life. Also, you want to find a company that's been in business for at least 10 years. You want to work with a company that's going to be there long after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims, and we'll help you through the process.
Don't go with the out-of-town fly-by-night contractor. Most storm damage goes missed by the untrained eye. Trust Snap Construction for your free storm damage evaluation. For your free storm damage evaluation, call Snap Construction at 612-333-SNAP or visit them online at snapconstruction.com. That's 612-333-SNAP or snapconstruction.com.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 52, Wednesday sunny with a high near 80, and Thursday partly cloudy with a high around 69. Spice up your meals with Vinaigrette's exquisite flavors. Unleash creativity in your kitchen using their premium extra virgin olive oils, balsamic vinegars, and more. Vinaigrette has been family-owned since 2009 and is located at 50th and Xerxes. Elevate your dishes with Vinaigrette. VinaigretteMN.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy Weed, all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by Strong Hearts Native Helpline. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Strong Hearts offers culturally appropriate support and advocacy. It's safe, confidential, and anonymous 24/7. You can call or text them at 1-844-7-NATIVE. That's 1-844-762-8483, or chat online at strongheartshelpline.org.
Hey, Wendy and I are downtown Manhattan here in New York, and we're about to see the play Distant Thunder, which happens to be my Ho-Chunk name. And then also it happens to be one of the stars and the writer of this play, Sean, and Sean's name is Distant Thunder too. So we got a chance to talk with him before the show. And we're really excited to be here. And as soon as the show ends, we're running down to watch the play. And then when we get home, we're going to be watching the debate in replay. And I'm sure it's going to be a smashing success.
Yeah, sounds like you have a pretty entertaining night out there in New York.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, we have our friend Ruth Buffalo on, CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and we're always really glad to have you on, Ruth. Welcome to Native Roots Radio as always.
Doksha, hello, Mazagidad. Thank you for having me. Good to see you both.
Hey, so we had an opportunity. I know you're a former basketball player yourself, and Wendy and I had the opportunity to see Resball on Netflix. Did you happen to see that?
Yes, we did. We watched it for sure.
It's awesome to see our native people being recognized, and it's just been great to see. Sterling Harjo was one of the producers, and we got to see a couple of people that we knew there that were in the movie, and it was just a heartfelt story, and really appreciated being able to watch that on a platform like Netflix.
Yes, I agree. My family and I watched it in the comfort of our house, and yeah, it was really good. The reviews from within our household, our high school senior son, he's a basketball player, and he loved the movie. So so it was cool to hear, like the range of perspectives. And so we agreed, as well as the parents, that it was a really good movie. Good show.
That was fun. I saw some things on Twitter about how they shot the basketball scenes, and somebody was on like rollerblades shooting the basketball, the playing in the basketball scenes, and it made it seem really realistic.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it goes to show the beauty and athleticism that is in our communities, like the swiftness, and then the I don't know how do you say it, like being really fierce at the same time, but still being really graceful, and the speed. Because a lot of our native ball players are also good runners as well. Because the individual who is one of the basketball players in there, we're from the same tribal nation and and he's a runner, cross country runner for Haskell Indian Nation. So he's from the Hale family. But yes, it was definitely a really cool movie to watch. And one of the other documentaries, I believe, that featured Tuba City, my husband and son kept going back and forth, trying to figure out if it was the exact same gym that highlighted a boys basketball team there. And I think their coach recently retired, but they had a winning record, and just a beautiful story too of the struggle, but yet the good, wholesome love that is for basketball and amongst teams in our tribal and native communities.
So, Ruth, were you a runner? Is that what you were just saying? You're an old fast runner when you played basketball?
Yeah, I used to be a runner. Yeah, I was state champ in the 800 meters back in the day.
Whoa.
Senior year. But yeah, I was a runner and grew up, on the res, but we were always at an advantage being from the western side of the state in North Dakota, because there was a lot of hills and ravines. But then on the eastern side of the state, where I finished high school, it was very flat. And so got to do some hardcore training. But the crazy thing is, tell a quick story about one of my uncles. After my high school career, after I won the 800 meters at the state track meet my senior year, went home, for the summer, and Mandaree and my uncle, my uncle Hanks, he took me and my girl cousin, first my sister cousin, like first cousins are sisters. And he took us for a run north of my mom's house, and it's very hilly. And anyhow, yeah, he dusted us, and he was running in like high top chucks and cut off jean shorts and cut off t-shirt, and we joke and say, yeah, and he was going up that big hill with a cigarette in his mouth. He like completely dusted us. And that was like, I always look back on it and I'm like, that was like one of the times that I considered to be in really good shape, and he had a lot of college scholarship offers back in the day, and So yeah, I kind of grew up with seeing and being around some pretty athletic people.
That's funny. I haven't heard the term dusted us in a long time. That's awesome.
Smoked us, I'm just kidding.
Haley, have you ever heard that term?
Only from kind of like the older generation.
Ooh, rub it in,
Yes,
rub
yes.
it in. Ooh, he
And I sure
dusted
felt
us.
it.
That's a great story. That's a movie in itself, to have somebody like that with Chuck Taylors on. If I wore Chuck Taylors now at 63, I'd be crippled for a couple days because there's no arch support. Wow. Well, that's cool. We're going to kind of talk a little bit, switch subjects, and, we have Indigenous Peoples Day coming up here in the Twin Cities. And I know MIWRC is always involved in things in a good way. This will be your first as director. How do you see that, and how can we support you, and what's happening with your organization during that time?
Well, I know for sure we're going to be supporting the existing activities. Like we're planning on going to the sunrise ceremony as a team or as a group, and just trying to support where we can. But yeah, definitely taking in the day and just kind of being there to support one another. And I think thankfully making it through yesterday was kind of a somber, heavy day. I mean, it's always it's a heavy day, September 30th. So I think for many, but I can't speak for everybody, but it's just being there to support one another, whether you show up physically in public spaces or offer support, from afar. And, so yeah, I think for sure looking forward to this Indigenous Peoples Day. Would have liked to try to check out the runs that were over the weekend at the lake here. So yeah, just trying to offer support where we can and be amongst community.
Well, you guys do that for sure. And we're going to take a quick break here. And this is Native Roots Radio, and we're with Ruth Buffalo, Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center CEO and President, and Haley Cherry. I got it right, Haley.
Thank you.
Stay
with us.
We'll be right back.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Every day, our people suffer at the hand of domestic and sexual violence. But you are sacred and deserve to be safe in your own home. Strong Hearts Native Helpline is here to help. Native-centered, empowerment-based, trauma-informed advocates offer safety, sovereignty, and support. Call or text 844-7NATIVE. To chat online, visit www.strongheartshelpline.org. Reach out today.
The Met Council is the governing planning agency for the Twin Cities metro region. One of our biggest responsibilities is to create a long-range plan every decade that imagines the best future for all of us. We need your help. We want to know your thoughts on the latest plan. We're calling it Imagine 2050. We'll use it as a guide to shape public policy and drive growth over the next 30 years. It'll help us improve the everyday essential services we provide, including transportation, housing, water resources, and parks and trails, with input from the 7 counties and 181 cities and townships in the region. But we're still missing the most important piece, and that's you. Visit engage.metrocouncil.org to learn more about Imagine 2050 and share your own thoughts and hopes for the Twin Cities region. Let's imagine a better, brighter future together. Engage.metrocouncil.org. That's engage.metrocouncil.org.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we are here with our friend Ruth Buffalo, CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin City, Minneapolis. And Ruth, we had a guest on yesterday, Barry Hand, and we were talking about how important your organization has been over the years. And it's really great to hear, because sometimes I feel like, Haley and I are kind of in a silo sometimes when it comes to news, but hearing the great words that Barry had to say about this long, great history of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center was really cool to hear. And so we feel blessed to have you on and speak your truth, Ruth. Welcome back.
Yes, I think she will be back to join us here shortly. But yeah, MIWRC just had their 40th year anniversary, I believe, and yeah, it's been, I've heard nothing but good things so far as Ruth has stepped into the leadership position here. I believe, when did she start? That was on my birthday of this year, so March.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it was my birthday when we went and visited her and welcomed her back to the community.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, well, we just, so what was that, like 7 months ago?
Something like that. How long has it been now, Ruth?
Oh, Ruth's back.
Sorry, I'm not sure what I did here on my. I think there's an echo too. My apologies.
Oh, you sound okay on our end.
We sound okay from our end, yeah.
Okay.
You'll just be a little freaked out for the next 11 minutes, but it'll be okay. We'll be a little echoey on your end. We were just saying, we had a guest on yesterday that talked so many good things about the history of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. And it's really cool to hear, because sometimes I feel like I'm in a silo with information, and to hear it from other people is just great to hear about your organization and the rich history and the things that you guys do and have been doing for so many years.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here and to serve the community. The staff are amazing, and they do such great work on a daily basis. And they're so creative and have good hearts. And yeah, we are thankful to have the doors open and have the many supporters near and far. And yes, I've been here at MIWRC since March 4th. So I think just approaching 7 months. But yeah, I have been here for 6 months, and lots of things cooking and, on deck. And so, yeah, super excited for what's ahead of us, and just completely amazed and thankful for such a good team. Both within the board and amongst the staff, and then all of our community partners.
Yeah, that's exciting, and to be in an organization that's been around that long and that's still kicking and has the great leadership of you, and how they sought you out to come in, it's just a beautiful story, and we can't help but be excited about supporting you and your work as much as we can, right, Haley?
Absolutely. Yeah. MIWRC has so many amazing programs and so many different ways where they help people in our community. And can we highlight maybe some of those for our listeners who are just tuning in?
Sure. We have a traditional birthing program. Mbaji Guernsey is the director, and she's amazing, has such an amazing story, huge heart of gold. We have a traditional birthing apprentice, and then we also have a traditional healing practitioner. And then family services has a ICWA liaison that works in the courts, kinship workers, ICWA kinship workers who work directly with grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. And then we have life skills, family parenting, and home visits. So really helping strengthen the family unit. And then we have Nujamo She Heals, that helps people who have been impacted by gender-based violence. For example, domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking. And then we have Section 8 Housing HUD Manager. And we are, been working diligently on getting the closing done of the top two floors of MIWRC. Something that has been in the works prior to my arrival, but we will be moving from 14 units to 24 units total. 20 of those units will be efficiencies, and with 4 in single units. So moving from 14 units to 24 units, hoping to have those completed by July of 2025. So lots of irons in the fire, lots of gaps that we still have within our structure, but we are diligently going after, all the traditional grant funding streams and trying to move outside of that as well. And just trying to be creative and finding good ways to keep the doors open and keep supporting the community the best we can.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And adding more units, especially with our relatives that are unhoused and that need support and are transitioning. How long can people stay that need your help with housing?
I believe they can stay as long as needed. We know that those units are going to be available for emergency housing too. So really trying to help our unhoused relatives directly get into safe spaces where they can also receive services from MIWRC. So we're looking forward to it, but we're also, trying to really strengthen our existing programs and services, and then also build off of those existing services.
It's a heavy lift. What do you do to take care of yourself? How do you balance that? I know your family's here, and that's a great relief and a way to really support you. But what do you do? I mean, you watch Netflix with your kids and things like that, and keep those things going. But you see a lot of good things, but a lot of sorrow too.
For sure, yeah, definitely. I'm here as a sounding board for our staff and making sure we are taking care of ourselves and each other in-house. So, just trying to use the skills and tools that our ancestors left behind for us to use and to help take care of one another and take care of ourselves. But yeah, I actually got to go shoot around at the Indian Center today. So that was really nice, even just like 20-30 minutes, had the whole gym to myself. And it was really nice to exercise that muscle memory. And so, yeah, I try to get outside as much as I can, and for sure spending time outside in the nature, but also spending time with my kids and my husband and son on the weekends. So
yeah, well, that's exciting. We'll have to play horse or something next time you're at the Indian Center playing, or maybe Haley and I will go against you and play 2-on-1.
Yeah, I'll have to help the elder out here.
Yeah, I can only jump this high now.
They have a league. I saw they gave me a handout. It was just cute, like the intake process there. They don't let you just kind of walk in and they kind of, hey, has your first time here? Fill these forms out and sign up, and and then they send you on your way with a little handout of like activities, and they have a 40+ basketball league, 40 and over, on Saturdays at 10 a.m. So
yeah, well, I'm 60 and I'm 60. I need to be in the 60 and over league. My speed is more. You know how excited I got, Ruth, when you guys did your cakewalk. That's my speed now.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I get competitive, so I don't want to tear my quad tendon again. But that's a whole nother show and another story. But that's exciting. It's a balance, and we take on a lot of our community's trauma without trying, and so I worry about you, and it's good to hear that you are taking care of your spirit in a good way.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's I think just being aware, I think trying to be more self-aware too of how we are doing ourselves on a daily basis. And yeah, I think just keeping things simple, but definitely taking care of yourself and your well-being is so very important. And I think connecting with others is important. We as human beings thrive off of connection, and so making sure that we don't isolate ourselves in the process. So I feel like I haven't really been able to get out and network. I've been sort of a hermit in my office, just like on the trying to push connections and opportunities out. Like have our staff go out in the community, attend meetings. But I feel like I'm more behind the scenes. But yes, taking care of ourselves is so critically important because we are in interesting times right now, and recognizing and being aware that other people may also be, experiencing high stress levels is important, I think, to just kind of give each other grace in every situation, that everybody's navigating some challenging things.
Absolutely. Well, we got 30 seconds left. Ruth, I'm wondering if you can just, for more information, how people can find out more about Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center.
Yes, we are at miwrc.org. If you would like to donate, there's a donate tab there. So miwrc.org. Also, you can search Facebook. We are at facebook.com/MIWRC official. And then we're also on Instagram as well. MIWRC MPLS for Minneapolis.
A big Pinagigi, thank you so much, Ruth. We'll be talking to you soon. Really appreciate you being on as always.
Matsugaduds, thank you.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Nation.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Discover the emotional depth and vivid storytelling of Jay White's Arikara Proper at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This solo exhibition celebrates Arikara culture through the lens of an urban Indian perspective. Experience themes of empowerment, depictions of Native women, stars, and star quilts within White's vibrant acrylic paintings. Arikara Proper is showing now through October 5th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. Get inspired by Jay White's powerful storytelling on canvas. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
I've often said the RAV4 from Rudy Luther Toyota is the best vehicle I've ever driven, and I just had it proven to me once again. I drove around San Francisco and the Sierra Nevadas in a RAV4 hybrid, and it was sensational. The city driving was amazing, tackling tight corners and steep city streets while looking stylish. The real challenge came when we got up into the mountain roads, and the RAV4 carved them up like a hot knife through butter. And the hybrid fuel efficiency saved me over $200 on my vacation. Win, win, win. Test drive a Toyota RAV4 today at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Hey, it's Patrick. We're headed into the Halloween season, and maybe you're thinking about having a Halloween party at your house later this month, but your carpet looks like something right out of a horror movie. But it's easy for you to make a good decision. Unlike a character in a horror movie, just call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. They'll take care of all those carpet terrors like pet messes, spills, and stains. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet starting at $129 and take $75 off to get all that scary stuff out of your air ducts as well. Don't let missing this deal haunt you. Call my friends at Zero Res today for 3 rooms starting at $129 and $75 off an air duct cleaning. Book your appointment today by calling 952-ZERO-RES or going to ZeroResMinnesota.com and asking for the AM 950 special. Back order forward smells the same. Zero Res.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 52, Wednesday sunny with a high near 80, and Thursday partly cloudy with a high around 69. Tired of ordinary meals? Elevate your culinary experience with Vinaigrette's premium oils and vinegars. From extra virgin olive oils to balsamic vinegars, they've been perfecting the art since 2009. A family-owned gem at 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis. Visit vinaigrettemn.com for a taste of excellence.
Hi, this is Governor Walz. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native-owned JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
Yes, we are awake. Hey, we are here with Rita Arndt, and Rita is the program and outreach manager with Native American Initiatives at Minnesota Historical Society, and we're really, really glad to have you on and catch up. It's been a while, and great to see you.
Bonjour, Robert. Bonjour, Haley. It's good to see you both as well. I'm excited to be here and to talk about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and we're really excited, Haley, to have Rita in the Minnesota Historical Society come on bi-weekly because I get FOMO. Sometimes I miss things that are happening down there, and I'm going, how did I not hear about this?
There's always really great work coming out of the Native American Initiatives program at the Minnesota Historical Society. So once again, thank you, Pinagigi Rita, for joining us every other Tuesday.
Happy to be here, like I said.
Right on. And you got the nice setup there. I'm here in New York in a hallway here doing the radio show, about to see a play, and you got the major setup. You sound better than Haley, and she's in her studio.
Ooh.
I was
It is a
like,
good setup.
I cannot take any credit. This is my husband's setup, and we thank him for allowing me to utilize this space, take away from his evening activities so I can be on the radio with you guys.
Well, thank him too.
I will.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and talk a little bit about your job and what's going on down at the Minnesota Historical Society now.
Sure. So I work in a area called Native American Initiatives, and it's part of our larger like community engagement department where we talk about inclusion and outreach and all of that work. But we are very focused on, reaching out to Native communities in Minnesota and beyond. I was like, although we do work at the Minnesota Historical Society, we are lucky to be able to have opportunities to go into Wisconsin, the Dakotas, Nebraska, other places. So that's really great there. And one of the programs I wanted to highlight is our Native American Artist in Residence program, because we are currently accepting applications for that. It is a pseudo residency. You don't have to live in the Twin Cities, and we have a travel budget, but it is a $30,000 grant for artists to come to the History Center in St. Paul to study some of the material culture collections that we have, which numbers over 5,000 items of the region. So it's a really great opportunity. And then share what they learn with their community. So that could be an apprenticeship, it could be workshops, it could be all kinds of things. And this program has been going on for 10 years. I actually was hired 10 years ago to support this program, and now I'm managing it. So that's a fun full circle there. But there's a lot of fun aspects to it, and it's a really great program.
So how could I become part of that? What are the requirements?
Sure. The requirements are essentially there's two main aspects of it is a research proposal and a community project proposal. We don't want to know what are you interested in learning more about and how what can you learn from collections. We've had canoe makers come in and study some of those old canoes. We've had quill work artists come in study the techniques of quill work, the dyes, the styles, the different ways of for that. And then the other part is a community project because we really want to know how this will support community. And there are some art forms that are just not as strong in communities. Like there's bead work everywhere. But quill work, basket making, canoe making is not as strong. So being able to share that and what that looks like. Do you want to take an apprentice? Are you going to bring in youth to learn more about that? So really having a strong sense of how you want to bring it back to community is a big part of it.
Oh, that's exciting, and that kind of reminds me. I didn't want to get ahead of myself. If you don't mind, Rita, we have that video to play that kind of
Yes.
talks a little bit about that. We should play that now and then and visit afterwards because there's some really good points of what this young person's doing.
Sounds good. Here it is.
My name is Cole Red Horse Jacobson, and I am from the Prairie Island Indian community in southeastern Minnesota. Native people have been decorating everything that we wear and everything that we use in our daily lives. That's where moccasins become an art form. These were the type of moccasins that were worn before our exile. I got to go into the collections and I got to take these objects and I would hold measuring tapes up to them, up to certain seams. Seeing them in person just really gave me more passion into doing this sort of work because I could see it with my own eyes, and I mean, I have to wear gloves, but I could touch it too, I think what also struck me was how unique they looked compared to Ojibwe moccasins, or what we know as just typical pucker toe moccasins. They utilize ribbon work here and a lot of embroidery techniques around the vamp. This piece is called a vamp right here. They're just so delicately done too, and they're just so cherished in their construction. I want to reintroduce this style of moccasin into all of our communities because it has been virtually lost. If someone hadn't come to me and offered to teach me how to do beadwork, I probably wouldn't be here doing this. So it's really important that we talk to our young people about these things. With this residency, it's really helped me refine my skills on making moccasins. My ancestors were these women who made these objects. They were master artists. I'm nothing like my ancestors, but I hope to one day be somewhat like them.
Well, that's beautiful, Rita. And one of the things that I kind of caught on is I never knew this, that some of the mocks in different tribes have ribbons on it. That kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, no, I am in the same boat. We had Gwen Westburn was one of our early artists in residence, and she studied Dakota ribbon work. And I had initially only thought of that with Ho Chunk, and maybe some of our relatives down in closer to Oklahoma. But we have the documentation, the photographs, some of these old pieces, dolls, and everything. So it's really nice to be able to find those things in places like museum collections to learn from, to kind of reclaim that for each of our our communities and to be able to share that broadly.
That's a great opportunity. The more we talk about it, that's just a great opportunity. And the person will be granted a stipend too, which is really amazing and helpful too, because this work is hard and time consuming, but also very needed, Rita.
Yeah, and I'm just amazed with so much what of the artists have done. Currently, we're working with a artist from Mille Lacs who is studying pottery and bringing pottery back. So she's really looking at those old archaeological collections, and there's so much to be taken from that, from a different approach that isn't, this anthropology, archaeology study. It's from the native mindset, so that we can really bring life back and stories back to these pieces too.
I imagine there was, as in everything in indigenous and native, is that there's stories and ways to go to heat the clay up as opposed to putting it in a big oven like they do now and burying it and heating it and storytelling going on. I can just, the sky's the limit, it sounds like, on that project.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I was like, stay tuned because that particular artist is she's most of that work happens in the summer, so we're gonna have to wait until next summer to really finish some of her ideas. So we try to work with artists to make sure that their residency usually it's 6 to 12 months, but we know that a lot of work happens with seasons and people get busy, so we try to be as flexible as possible to be able to help them reach their goal.
I'm going to throw you off a little bit and ask you a question. When you did your residency, what was that on?
Oh, I never was a resident. I just worked.
Oh.
I just hired for it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'll let
Who
you go
did
on that.
you mentioned like the baskets. I know that's a very Ho Chunk thing. And when was that residency?
So neither of our basket makers are Ho Chunk. So sorry.
Oh,
but we
There you
did
go,
have,
Haley.
Yeah, learning something new.
well, it is still black ash basketry, and one of our folks was from Bad River, Ojibwe, and then another currently she's a Menominee artist who she was she's also doing other weaving like finger weaving with yarn belts. So she's just a weaver, and so she's like adjusting it to basketry, but also doing the belts too. So it's really exciting.
Well, people don't realize about basket specifically that helped a lot of tribal members before there was any help with tribal members. They would sell their baskets on the side of the street. I know a lot of Ho Chunks did that over the years and were really great artists. But it also helped them be able to buy food and groceries.
Yeah, 100%. I think something that we try to get people to understand is a lot of Native people do not consider themselves artists. But they are. They're creative. They're making these things. They know how to do these things. And they're like, well, I just know how to bead. I just know how to make baskets. And that's the people that we want as part of this program because what they're doing is it's more than just like art for art's sake. It is learning for community, really talking about that, sharing what your knowledge and being able to continue these traditions that are so ingrained in us. So it's been a struggle because some people are like, oh, I'm not an artist. I myself have said that too. I'm like, I just know how to bead. I don't know how to do anything else. But it's trying to change that mindset.
Yeah, let's talk about that more. I know I talked to my wife and she's an artist of many different ways but a lot of times Wendy doesn't think she's an artist and it's like, "Oh yeah, you're an artist." And I have a heart of an artist. I cry with those sad commercials, you know. So I have a heart of an artist. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more. We're going to go on a break here in about a minute. That's while we're ending this segment, let everyone know how they can get a hold of you and be a part of this project, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Sure. If you go to our website, it's www.mnhs.org /NAIR, NAAIR. I was like, is it a backslash? That will lead us, and the our NAI page will also lead to the artist in residence too. So you can just Google it.
All right, Rita, we're going to come back and grill you some more on more
Great.
questions. It's really great to have you on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
We are Calusa Nation.
The Met Council is the governing planning agency for the Twin Cities metro region. One of our biggest responsibilities is to create a long-range plan every decade that imagines the best future for all of us. We need your help. We want to know your thoughts on the latest plan. We're calling it Imagine 2050. We'll use it as a guide to shape public policy and drive growth over the next 30 years. It'll help us improve the everyday essential services we provide, including transportation, housing, water resources, and parks and trails, with input from the 7 counties and 181 cities and townships in the region. But we're still missing the most important piece, and that's you. Visit engage.metrocouncil.org to learn more about Imagine 2050 and share your own thoughts and hopes for the Twin Cities region. Let's imagine a better, brighter future together. Engage.metrocouncil.org. That's engage.metrocouncil.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Every day, our people suffer at the hand of domestic and sexual violence. But you are sacred and deserve to be safe in your own home. Strong Hearts Native Helpline is here to help. Native-centered, empowerment-based, trauma-informed advocates offer safety, sovereignty, and support. Call or text 844-7NATIVE. To chat online, visit www.strongheartshelpline.org. Reach out today.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, all right. Hey, we're back here, and this is Native Roots Radio, as you heard, and we're here with Rita Arndt, and we're talking about the Minnesota Historical Society and a lot of great things that they're doing down there. And I say down there because I live in St. Paul, and it's kind of down the hill from where I'm at. But so, Rita, welcome back. What else is going on? And then let's talk about that initiative before we let you go again, so people can get the information again.
So a newer thing that's specifically at the History Center in St. Paul, we have a new exhibit called Girlhood, and it is a traveling exhibit created by the Smithsonian, and that it's really nice to have it come through. But our exhibits team was able to create a very Minnesota focused part of Girlhood, and they focused on basketball, and it was such an easy fit to try to include Native content on there. We worked with Brooke LaFleur, who does a lot of the local basketball tournaments and everything. She's having an Indigenous Peoples Weekend event, so she's highlighted in that part of the exhibit. And we also have some information with the young girls team from Lower Sioux about basketball and resball and the importance to our community. So I just think it's so timely, especially with the Netflix show coming out too. So please stay tuned for any upcoming programming around that exhibit about the basketball.
Yeah, that is awesome. And prior to you coming on, we talked to Ruth Buffalo about resball, and we'd all seen it, and we're excited to be represented in a good way, in a healthy way, and in a real way.
Yeah, and it's so neat because we have like Brooks jersey. I'm like, what is that called? The jersey.
Oh yeah, the MMIR jersey.
Yes, because she really does a lot of focus on, missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. So highlighting that as part of the exhibit too was such a huge thing to like include in addition to Girlhood. So I really am grateful for that community aspect of that exhibit.
We're so grateful. We have Brooke on a lot, not a lot, but we have her on quite a bit with her tournaments. But her story about starting at McAllister and then ending up as a walk-on on the Division I basketball team.
Yeah, Tulane.
Just talks about our resilience as Native people, and it's just a great story to remember. And I always talk about it. Ruth, Brooke is, she's the real deal.
She'll be on the show, I think, next Monday to talk about Indigenous Peoples Basketball Weekend.
Can't wait.
I know.
But yeah, just being able to amplify her story, Rita, and her work now too. It is she's come back to the community and works hard in many different facets in the community.
Yeah, and so I'm so grateful that we were able to work with her on that and hopefully develop some kind of program. The exhibit's out for several months, so we'll be able to figure out, get people in. So I'm sure we'll talk about this again.
Yeah, definitely. And so let's give a shout out again to how the people can sign up and register and work with work with you and find out about the art of natives and how they can interpret it in their own way and also bring it back to us. And that's exciting. That moccasin story was a beautiful, quick story and well done.
Yeah, it's our Native American Artists in Residence program. It is www.mnhs.org/NAAIR, NAIR. We call it NAIR, but that's where you can get more information. Our applications are open for 2 more weeks through Indigenous Peoples Day, and we are readily available to help with any questions or comments. If you need help, if you're trying to figure out, am I doing the right thing? Just please let us know. We're here to help. And all we want to do is support Native artists. And I hope we're doing a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I gotta just commend you and just switch pages a little bit. But at the state fair, we had our booth and we sold 100 of the banished books at our booth. So the work that you guys do in publishing and all the things that you do to support native stories has just been amazing. And publishing a book like that for us being Ho-Chunk is just a marvelous thing. So we're still here and people are remembering our stories.
Yeah, the MNHS Press is been such a great ally for Native community for, I would want to say, decades. And they do work with several Native authors every year, from children's books to cookbooks to stories about those hard histories that we want to get out there. So they're really great.
Yeah, it's just there's so many things going on, and that's why I think Haley and I are really excited to touch base and support what's going on at the Minnesota Historical Society because we're prehistory, but we are a big part of the Minnesota history also.
Exactly. Is there what is kind of like the process for picking an artist in residence?
So we choose a selection panel from a few of our, we scout out some community members who are well versed in like arts and culture and talking about that, and they help us decide who should be picked for the artist, and we change that every year. So it is a really great opportunity and a fun time. I was like, I should ask you guys to be on the panel one year. But it's a great thing, and it's a great conversation had amongst people who know different aspects of, our communities, the art world, museums and stuff like that.
But it also, by doing research at the Minnesota Historical Society, you can become more versed too at what you want to be versed on. And Haley's an artist. I've seen Haley is a great painter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I like painting native lands and using my watercolors and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm interested to see who the next artist in residence that you guys choose and kind of their project. And I'm excited to follow along with it.
Me too.
Me too. Great statement.
Where is the Minnesota Historical Society located?
So our main area is the Minnesota History Center, which is in St. Paul. It's right off Kellogg Boulevard. It's like right off of 94. You can't miss it. It's a big, huge building. But we do have 26 sites throughout the state. Like, for example, the Mille Lacs Indian Museum and Trading Post up in Mille Lacs is one of our sites. So we have a lot of partnership opportunities up there and other things. So I'm like, I'll be happy to bring on sites people to talk about sites in the future because there are several Native sites that we can talk about.
Wow, I did not know that.
That's great. That's really good. So, just one more time. Let's give that address out again. How people can find out more information.
And www.mnhs.org/NAI will show all of our programs, which is really great because it includes artists and residents. But we have college programs, we have teen programs, we got lots going on. So please visit that.
Well, Rita, we really appreciate you having you on, and it's always great to see you and your people in the community. It means a lot to us, and whenever you're tabling somewhere, we can have a few jokes. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Just a few.
Yes, exactly. Well, great to have you on, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
All right, great. Be good.
Thanks, Rita.
All right, Rita. Thanks so much. Well, that was awesome, Haley. And I got to let everybody know too. We only got a minute or so that people that are in the Twin Cities and AM 950, there's going to be we're going to have some coverage on the debate here with our Uncle Tim versus JD, and we're
Dig
excited.
Tim.
Yeah, right on. We're excited to see what happens there, and I know Devil's Radio is going to be up next, and they will be live, and it's just great to be Indigenous.
Cool. Yeah. If you're looking for a place to watch the debate tonight, you can head over and join our AM 950 family at the Parks Tavern.
Right on. Hey, we're still here. We are the 7th generation, and this has been Native Roots Radio.
And free Leonard Peltier now.